we're getting started. I'm on a little bit earlier today because, the girl's got to do what she's got to do. So wherever and whenever you're watching this recording, joining in live, do what you will. We're going to be talking about focus today, Hocus Focus on the creative journey, what that looks like for you to really have like a clear, like path, not a clear path, but like just dedication to the path, dedication to whatever it is that you are creating, how it is that you want to show up, what your goals are or your intentions. And just going to call for that guidance of spirit, of your ancestors, your guides to support you with receiving whatever needs to be received in this video, this message today. So I have some notes here I will share with you. And you can let me know how things have been for you this past week. I guess Neptune has officially gone into Aries. I believe it's today, tomorrow. And so here we are, like, I don't know, this is exciting to me because it's like the next phase, till 2038. Neptune will be in Aries, and then Neptune, or what's it called? Something else is happening. Saturn is also going to be entering into Aries coming up soon. So there's like a lot of stuff happening, I feel, and that's exciting to me. I don't know about you. At the end, we'll possibly pull another card, but I want to just start with, if you did not do this particular challenge for this week, it was to find an object that you love and an object that you hate, and to write about each of them without editing yourself. I definitely encourage you to do that. And forget about whatever other card I pull this week. You're going to want to do this one. It doesn't take long, and I'm going to probably talk about why that is with you. And we'll see if we do a little guided practice or a bit of magic before we move on. But yeah, if you're resonating with anything I'm talking about today, or you're just really feeling the call to move along on your creative path, I want to invite you to head to the link that I put in the comment section. It's pinned. This is for next week, 5-day challenge. It's going to be an opportunity for you to really just like fuck the blocks that are holding you back from your creativity, that are holding you from expressing yourself, from being your truest version of you, and letting that like ripple into everything that you are putting your hands on, anything you are bringing to life, whether it's music, writing, a project, a business, things that you're working on in your like place of employment. This, I think, can extend anywhere and everywhere. So it's not just for like creatives, artists, musicians. It's also for just humans, because we are all creators. And this is why this conversation about focus is so important. Many of you are right now watching, scrolling through YouTube, just clicking on any little thing that you feel called to. Oh, it's alive. I'm going to click it. Oh, this person looks weird or interesting. I'm going to click it. You just are kind of like willy-nilly going through life. And it's not a downfall. We, I think, are allowed to have periods of time in our brain function where we just like kind of go on autopilot mode. But unfortunately, what I'm witnessing, and what is so easy in this day and age with all the distractions, all the noise of technology, of social media, it's for us to just completely kind of like be in autopilot mode 24/7, to not really be intentional or focused, have a sense of direction in our lives. And many of you may be experiencing this, where you can like feel there's something that you want to create, or you have this like passion project that's been like sitting kind of on the back burner for a long time. Maybe you've never even started it and you're curious about starting, but you're also kind of scared. To me, it's like this is now the chance for you to step forward with Neptune entering Aries, with the year of the horse coming up soon, all this stuff. And unfortunately, life is a series of trials and tribulations. It's about us just going through this like experiment of our lives. And this is part of the journey of the creative. This is part of the journey of the human, is that you will go through ups and downs and have to learn to really like hone your focus on what it is that you are intending to create or what you would like your life to look like. And to know when to pivot or adjust accordingly when things maybe aren't working out for you. Which my understanding with Saturn entering into Aries, this is exactly what this is about. It's like Saturn's kind of like in a like what I can't remember what exactly the example that someone had shared on like a website, but it was almost like it's as if like you're trying to like hammer a wall or hammer some type of like block, and as much as you are hammering it, Saturn in Aries is going to make you feel like it's just not working. And it's really like a dedication game. So this is why your focus is so important. I'm going to share with you how you can improve your focus, especially as a creative, some practical ways, some more like esoteric, magical ways, and also like a bit of like why that would be important for you. For me personally, if you don't know me, welcome, hello. But I like am definitely a multifaceted creative person. I like to do all the things. It's probably my generator energy as a human design. Like as long as it excites me, I can be like, yeah, like let's do it. I'll give energy. If it's something I really believe in, like, oh, totally, until it's not. But I write, I've published some books. I like create music, and we're currently recording an album. I share videos and content online on YouTube, so there's lots of different things that I do, hosting sound baths. Like I'm like all over oftentimes. And if that's something you've experienced, you can let me know in the chat. We live in such a beautifully infinite world where anything and everything's at our fingertips. Does it mean we have to do everything and anything? No. But there is this sense of opportunity for all of us. And this is why it's so important for you to be directing your focus. I definitely recommend learning your human design, energetic like structure. That can give you a lot of like headway in terms of maybe what it really is to like focus or where you maybe should focus based on like birth and time and all that stuff. But what I learned this weekend, I was in this like transformation weekend event with some ladies. It was amazing, so relaxing, but like also hard work at the same time, going between like spending time in a sauna outside and writing and figuring out like things about what's the path forward. And what I really took away from it, and I think it was a Saturday morning, I had woken up and I kind of just had this revelation of, I know what it is I really am intending for this weekend. It's not to like get clarity on the next steps of like business or how I want to show up or whatever. It was actually, the intention was, I really want to just have this dedicated focus and commitment to what it is that I'm feeling called to create. And so there was this like determination for me to have this focus, which I oftentimes find, and I'll like just admit it right off the bat here, the last like month or so, even though I feel like I have more direction on where the channel is going, speaking to creatives like yourself, sharing esoteric teachings and magic, which is something I'm so like just love. I was getting like so distracted by the little things. The little things, which this coach in particular was talking about, she kind of like has it as directional and supportive. So there's like things that are going to help you move forward. Like if you are making a course, say, you're going to have to like write out the course, plan it, figure out what's in it. But like supportive parts of making that course could be like doing research or talking to people who've done it before, like little things that aren't really going to get the course done. They might help support getting the course done, but it's easy to just get distracted. And for me, it was like, I have this event coming up February 2nd, right? This like launch. There's other things that I'm working on. And it's like so easy for me to get distracted in, okay, well, I'll make some type of post about it. Or I got to put a post out there, make some like thoughtful content that is going to like, bring some eyes to, or like bring a sense of awareness to what it is that I'm creating instead of like focusing on actually doing the thing or the steps that come next to that. And so if that's something that like resonates for you, like another example that's just coming to me is, say, as an artist, maybe you are someone who has this like vision of some type of project, like some artwork you want to create. And you can see it on the canvas, like you can see the colors, everything is like showing up in your mind. But what you end up doing is you just go and you like search online for all the different types of canvases you could use and all the different paints and, oh, what type of paintbrush do I want to use? And like you're literally just like searching and learning and not taking an active role in creating, where you just need to sit down and start painting, start putting the idea onto like a form, onto the canvas. So if that's something that resonates with you, you can let me know. Leave a little emoji. Hi, David. Hello. But it's like this concept of focus means we are dedicated to what it is that's going to actually get us to the end goal. And this 5 day, like, fuck the blocks, unleash your creativity is really going to help you with getting clarity even on what that like intention or goal is. Whatever it is, if it's doing an art project, or if it's getting closer to like your financial goals, or if it's, it can be anything. And then reviewing the blocks to it and the steps following that, some teachings around it. But it's like, you have to be willing to take a step. And in a statement, we came up with these like 10 I am statements this weekend. And I wanted to leave one with you that I had written down, and like just really, it felt good. It rhymes, which is obviously a nice thing. But it was just this idea that by clearing out the unnecessary noise of like all those supporting activities, or all just literally distractions that exist with the online world, then you're actually going to start to create what it is you want to create or bring forth in your life. And the statement was, I allow space so growth can take place in my life. I allow space so growth can take place in my life. Or simply, I allow space so growth can take place. Feel free to use that however you want. It has a nice little like jive to it, I guess I could say. But in order for me to complete the things I'm wanting to complete, to bring to life those inspired thoughts, I need to let go of some of the things that are distracting, that are taking up the space. Me continually wanting to go and post something or schedule posts, as much as like everyone in the world tells you that's how you do it, that's how you know. And there is something to doing consistent posting and stuff when you are especially starting off, say on YouTube. It like shows and gives you this like proof of consistency and showing up that they would like to see. But I think what happens is many of us, we get so trapped in that, I have, where then all the other stuff kind of like gets sacrificed to actually complete those set intentions. So where are you distracting yourself? What is it where are you maybe sticking more into the supportive version of yourself, or supportive goals or steps or actions, instead of taking the directional steps of moving forward? And when you let go of those distractions or those supporting tasks, you allow the space so that you can start to take more directional action. So how can you improve your focus? That's kind of like the main question or concept maybe many people have. I think I just said it. Create space, let go of some. But there are other like esoteric tools you could do, spiritual, magical things that you can explore. And there's also like physical body things that you can do. So in like a lot of the esoteric schools, these like thought forms or like teachings, I guess I could call them, especially say like in the Hindu tradition, the yogic tradition, this is like a huge part, building concentration, building focus. You know, you can't really like hold a particular posture in yoga, like the asana yoga, unless you have an ability to focus. It's about training the focus, the concentration, the brain to be able to hold a particular point over any other distraction. And I think this is where yoga, meditation, all these things can be so helpful. And a lot of these like ancient teachings really influence the Western esoteric path. So Western esotericism, like the Golden Dawn, all these more new magical systems that came 1800s, early 1900s. And a main one that came was the use of like the tattvas. So this idea that there's like the 5 elements, fire, air, water, earth, spirit, and these also have a link to a particular symbol and different colors. And so I believe it was the Golden Dawn, they would like meditate on these color combinations so that one could access the element, access the like consciousness of that element, and also develop their focus on a material object, because usually it would be on like a card form that you could place on your altar, meditate on. But it also, because of the color blocking, it's what I want to call it, it would create like it would alter things in the brain, right? You can find these tattvas online and see, and you'll know what I'm saying when it's like, when you look at it, it starts to do almost like an optical illusion. But this was something that this meditation on the tattvas would also help with things like the lucid dreaming, astral projection, doing that astral journeying, right, into like the other dimensions. But this meditation on the tattvas, linking it with different types of breath based on the elemental connection, and just being in that focus helps train the brain, trains the mind, trains our focus so that we are able to then enter into the work mode, get things done in this like physical reality. So any meditation really can help. All different types of meditation, Vipassana, Zen Buddhist type meditation, these all kind of link to different forms of focusing on an anchor, whether it's body awareness, whether it's breath, whether it's sound, and it can help you to focus and just kind of like train your brain, train your, I want to say like your inner eye to like gaze for long periods of time. And for those of you who like say, I can't meditate, etc., I would really encourage you to try different forms of meditation. Because for some, Vipassana might work great. For others, that might be the like death of themselves, right? Like that's just like, no way. You have different ways in which you can sense things. So focusing on your breath may be better than focusing on sensation. Focusing on the sounds in the room or in the space around you may be better or easier than focusing on breath. Like, so start, especially if you aren't maybe feeling like you're really that aligned with meditation, start with something that works for you and start in like small doses. I'm not here telling you to go and sign up for a Vipassana meditation, like 10-day silent retreat right off the bat if you've never meditated before, because that, I can tell you, having done a 10-day meditation, like it can be pretty intense. Not saying you can't do it. You may benefit, you will benefit, I'm sure, from something like that. But like 5, 10, 15-minute doses of meditation can help you, because this is like the long game where, you know, no one is here going to build some like successful thing right off the bat. You know, you're not, most likely, especially in this day and age with so much content and information out there, we don't have these like opportunities to be like viral hits, one hit wonders. That's the phrase, right? This is like a different time. So get that shit out of your head. That's something you have to get that old way. The 90s, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, that was when technology was like coming into infancy, and people could really explode online or in these different like spaces. But now we are all in the space. So, until a new place gets developed, whatever that's going to be, maybe you'll be someone that develops it. We have to recognize that we don't have to like go really big all the time. So start small. Meditate in small doses. They say it's better for you to meditate every day for 5-10 minutes than to try and meditate for an hour once a week or once every like 3 weeks. The consistency and the gentleness that comes with that can be so helpful. Okay. So meditating in these small doses, this can help with the brain. The tattvas, focusing on that can help. Linking different breath works can help. It regulates the nervous system. And we're not in maybe the 1800s, we have a different way of being. We have access to meditation apps. Insight Timer, I'd say, is like a really great one. It's free. You don't have to pay for it for the basic version. But these are ways that you can start to access improving your focus by simply stopping instead of going. And I'm going to be making a video about this, a teaching I've recently come into about like the law of three or power of three, and just the concept of like neutral, active, and passive, and how important it is. We can't always be in active mode. We can't always be in passive mode. We can't always be in neutral. We have to find a balance between all three. And to me, meditation, pausing away from doing work or like directing the energy out, which would be like an active force. When we are like being in neutral state through meditation, or if you're reading a book, like that's passive, right? Then you're able to bring more balance into your life. This is going to help improve your focus. I bet you that's probably why now I'm in this place of like, oh, my focus, like that's the like intention for me, is to really clear distractions, be determined to get the things done, and do it in a way that feels like whole, feels balanced to me, because I started really implementing that law of three into my everyday life. So I'm going to just touch on some of the comments before I move into some supplements, plants, sort of external things that you could possibly explore if you feel called to. So, hello, sarcastic scoundrel. To ground myself, I usually focus on my insatiable lust towards Bigfoot. Okay. No one wants to be a one-hit wonder, but everyone wants to hit the ground running. Hi, Nollywood Movies Recap. Hello. That's interesting. Whatever works for you to ground down earth creatures and all sorts of things. Nature is another great way. Again, it's like doing this like paradoxical behavior where if I'm work, or putting energy the thing that's going to bring balance to that is doing nothing, going in nature, slowing down intentionally, having a spa day, whatever the case may be. These things can help, because then you can come back with like almost more force. You've recharged the battery. So I really like that. Okay, so some supplements. I didn't grab the bottle, but one supplement that I've taken on and off, and it kind of came into my life specifically for the purposes of like lucid dreaming and like dream doubling, which it's interesting how like the tattvas I was recommending, that's kind of the purpose of those based on my understanding. It's like, what's the link there? What's the link there? I'm just going to ask you that question. You can like sit with that, ponder it. But the supplement's called Huperzine A. And this is like a nootropic, I would call it. It's something that they've used. They say it can help with like cognitive issues or cognitive dysfunction, so memory, concentration. Don't ask me what it's made of. You'll have to do your own research, but Huperzine A. You can find it online. Of course, all these things I'm recommending to you, especially when it comes to supplements, I'm not a health provider or anything like that. This is not a prescription. You need to do your research, talk to your healthcare professionals, and figure out what works for you. But the Huperzine A I found really helpful to like bring a sense of focus, taking it, it's not really like, it is a little bit stimulating, I would say, for myself, but nothing like caffeine. Like for me, black tea and especially coffee, since I've cut it out for like just over a year now, I really started to notice how when I would drink a coffee, I was just like, I was so like energetic and like ready to go, but it would be all over the place where then nothing would really get done. I was just more like jittery. Um, Huperzine A, I find, brings like a bit of like a energetic boost, but it helps with like, does something with the brain where it's like the focus can be on. So I definitely recommend that one. I'm thinking once I develop like the community online and people join in, we'll probably do a bit of like, actually, well, not probably. I'm really feeling called to explore the lucid dreaming side of things more. And it might be something we explore as like a group working, experimenting with some of these like supplements, but that's for a whole other conversation. But Huperzine A might be something you want to explore to help with your focus, help with your concentration. Because there's not a whole lot of research on it. You want to be mindful, obviously, of the source. You know, is it like a clean enough source or wherever it comes from? And just, yeah, knowing your body, you know, I usually take any supplement, any drug with an intuitive flair of like muscle testing and really tuning in, is this what I need today or not? Because taking something so much, you know, that's never any good. Another thing I found helpful for myself, focus wise, at certain doses was microdosing. So, mushrooms, psilocybin, that could really be beneficial for some. Even sativa, right? Cannabis can be helpful for some in particular doses. Certain blends or certain strains can be more beneficial than others. There's times I would like microdose and I had the intention, "Oh, I'm gonna get so much done," but like the dose was too much or the strain just wasn't one that worked for me. And I would just be like on the couch doing anything but work. So it's really like one of those ones you have to experiment with if you feel the call. And obviously, don't do anything illegal where you are. Um, but you're an adult, so you're an adult. You can see what works or not. But with that being said, even with Huperzine A, I would say do not play into, oh, I need this thing to focus, or I need this thing to be creative, or I need this whatever supplement external thing to make me greater than I think I am. Because that's where I think we can run into a lot of issues, because you don't need anything. You are a creative, powerful being just as you are. Even if you've got a bunch of shit going on in your life or old stories that make you doubt that, you were made in the image of God. So that means you are this powerful energy, this powerful creator. You don't need anything else. To me, the reason to bring supplements or these practices in, these plants, is really to like experiment, which is like the purpose of magic, right? It's about changing the reality to conform with our will. You know, there's like a bit of science and and a bit of artistry within it all. So play around, be wise, don't give your power away to any external practice or supplement or person. It's ultimately what works for you. And something may work now and it may not work tomorrow. It may not work 5 months from now or 5 years from now. That's okay. It's about finding the thing that's going to be the next. And that's why I wrote here like limiting sugars, caffeines, processed foods, because that was something that I really found the most helpful. You know, what is the reason for that? I kind of think it's more of like a discipline, self-willpower process, where last year I decided no cannabis and I decided no coffee, and also no candy, but that one didn't really happen. I guess I've been doing it like this year. Technically, actually, there's a few times I'm like, oh, I should go. I want to go buy like, I love those little Popeye sticks, you guys. It's ridiculous. But I haven't, because I've just been feeling like that's no. So I'm not naming this is the year for no candy, but I'm just going to go with the flow of it. But when I cut out those other two C's, last year and I've like stuck with that, it has been very transformative for me. And I wonder how much of that is contributing to focus, but also just my willpower. There's like, if we think about like the solar plexus, that chakra or energy center just above the navel, it's kind of like helping us to like move forward and be like the sun and burn and like express ourselves and to get things done. And so when we can like add more energy to that, and if I'm consuming things, it's kind of going into this general area, right? The GI, stomach, the kidneys, all that, like everything's kind of being impacted, the liver. Then it's like clearing all that stuff out is going to help you to also gain more focus and the willpower, which is also tied to here. Your ability to be with like your mood in a more bright way versus in depression or anxiety. You start to have more power. So I'm just naming that for whoever needs to hear it. Maybe there's something that you need to like cut out. It's never too late, even though it's January 26th. Today, Neptune in Aries might be a great time to start and just live one day at a time, one day at a time. But this can help you to like, for me, I would definitely say drinking coffee could be a distraction. Cannabis, I wouldn't really say cannabis was so much of a distraction for me, but as someone before who wasn't really using a lot of cannabis, and then like the last couple of years, I was like using it more. I was kind of like, I don't really need that. Like, why am I? For me, it was more like, why do I feel like I want to or need to? And I want control in my life. I don't want to give my control to like just anyone or anything that doesn't have my best interest in heart, especially. But there might be something here for you to look at in exploring your life. What wants to have a bit more control? Where can you have a little bit more control or direction of your energy and focus? And you can intentionally put it somewhere so that then you can have more of it where you actually need it. I cut out coffee, I cut out cannabis. Now I have more energy and focus into the places, more willpower or power where I want to actually create things in my life. So just some little ideas for you to explore there. One thing I shared in this weekend, we were kind of like going through a calendar, planning our week ahead. And so these are kind of some more practical, but like magical ways you can explore it. And let's start with maybe the more like practical material way. So with the calendar, say, there's the concept of like time blocking or task blocking. And so these are kind of like two different ways. If you are working on a project or maybe you have like a deadline coming up or whatever, you know when that's going to be, so say February 2nd, we have the Fuck the Blocks, Unleash Your Creativity. That email is going to start to go live during the Monday. So I know this last 2 weeks have been like, hey, these things need to get done. So in my calendar, what I've done for this week is I've like blocked off particular times and certain days that are the times I'm going to work on it. Work on like the step to step, right? Like, well, first I need to finish the drafts of all the emails, and then I want to like finalize those drafts and then create the video content for each of those emails that are going to have like short little videos with just some like intentional practices for people to kind of do as homework. And then I need to like create the automation and like put everything into my mailing distribution page. So, there's like certain steps I know need to be done. So I've time blocked it. You could also do it where you like task block, where if I had that list of like tasks and I told myself, okay, Monday or Wednesday or whatever, from this time to this time, I'm just going to like get things done on my task list, then I know I could like mark this thing off. Okay, that's the task I'm doing first. It's done. So it's kind of as a matter of what works best for you. I often play around. For me, for a long time, what I've done is I'll just have like my list. To me, this is task blocking. I'll have like a list of the things I want to do. And then I just like let myself intuitively be led to one that's like, and let me start again with this, because what I do is I would start my day writing out and asking, okay, what is a really important thing, or things like 3 things that need to be done today? And then I'd put them on my list, and then I would just do whichever one like is calling me in the moment, usually till it's completed, just to like limit those distractions and not be jumping over. But that's something that can work for you. It's just a matter of like playing around and seeing how you are structured as an individual. I've mentioned using like the Flow, I think it's called Flow Pro, the app where it like keeps track of the time, and it has like the Pomodoro app timer where I can literally work for 20 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes, work for 25, 25, and then take a longer break. And that can be really helpful too, because then you're like more deliberately having these little like punches of time where you work. Honestly, that's so much better than like having this like delusional belief that you're going to work from 8 till 4 every day. Like, come on. People don't even do that in a regular job, right? Like, if you're working and you're watching me at your work right now, I mean, are you really working? So, how can you be more deliberate with your time? Another thing is to like review the day ahead. So, like the night before you go to bed, or like the evening before the day that you have things planned, go through and look at your day. Weekly plan things and then look each evening before, so you know or have a sense of like, okay, is this actually what's the priority for tomorrow? Maybe it's changed. Do you need to adjust it? Do you need to create more space? Like I mentioned, that law of 3, which again, I'll share a video about that in more detail soon. But I think it's important that you actually don't just make a list or put a calendar out there and be like, I have the calendar, but then not do it. Oh my God, I was like so guilty of that before. I would just have like all these lists of things, but not actually do it. Anyways, if that's the case for you, maybe you need like an accountability partner, which is another thing I wrote down, or a group. It's people that you can talk with that have similar or like expansive goals in mind, that actually want to grow. Okay, don't do this with someone who's just saying they want you but don't actually, because fuck that, I'm done with that. People who actually want to grow and expand their lives, those people can be your accountability partners. But don't turn accountability meetings, or let's meet up and talk about things, and it's just literally talking and gossip and drama. You have to do the work. Okay, maybe you have to create some type of like, what's the word I want to use? A reward punishment for yourself if you do or don't do a thing. Okay, so there's so many things you can do to improve your focus. But I think this stuff can really help. And then tying in like a more magical way that I was sharing over the weekend was when we were making our weekly calendar, like our plan for the week. I just shared how oftentimes when I'm planning my week, I really do like to focus on the planetary alignments of, okay, Monday's moon day, right? It's related to the moon. Tuesday, that would be Mars. So there's like a fiery energy, there's like action. And I was telling him, like, to me, the start of the work week really should be Mars, like that Tuesday, not Monday, because Monday you're usually like, chill. And like, I try not to do too many things or plan anything really on a Monday, except the lives. Because to me, it's like, it's chill. I don't really have to like think too much. It's just like being. Wednesday would be like your Mercury day. So it could be for your creativity, for magic, for communication, for business, commerce. Kind of like, for me, I like to use it as a time to like develop ideas. And then Thursday would be Jupiter. So this could be a lot with like abundance and prosperity, finances, money, anything that maybe you're wanting to put out there that would be expansive for yourself and for the world. And then you have Friday, which is Venus, and that's like the arts, but like beauty. For me, I like that as like the self-care day. So like taking care of the feminine, the body, maybe you go for like to get your nails done, whatever it might be. Maybe you go to an art gallery and do like a homework or a date with self, just like see the beauty of life. And then Saturday is tied to Saturn. And there's like, to me, that's like the teaching. So maybe you want to learn something that day, whether it's like personal development or on a topic. Even though I would say you like probably want to split this stuff up during all the week anyway, but like you can use these different days, and the Sunday is related to the sun. So however you want to associate that. To me, I like Sunday as like a rest, like a self tuning into that light, tuning into the divine or like spiritual light. And so planning the days of your week around these planets can be helpful and the themes that they hold, because it'll kind of help boost the energy that you're focusing towards it. But, this might not work for everyone. It could just lead you to more confusion. You need to do what you will. But I think that's all I had written down. Let me check. These are, I think, some great first steps for gaining a sense of clarity, focus on your path, because when you can cut out those distractions, cut out the noise, then you do get this laser focus, and the things that you are actually being led to create or bring forth, they have the space to do so. I allow space so growth can take place in my life. That can be your mantra for this week if you feel called. So we're going to pull a card here. I mentioned if you did not do the homework or the challenge for this last week, maybe you want to do that one first, which was to find an object you love, find an object that you hate, and then write about both without editing yourself. However long it takes you to do that, because I had a very fascinating experience. I just did it this morning, to be honest, because my weekend was just so full. And I'm glad I did it this morning because it was so timely, timely about some things that had come up. I was like up at like 3 a.m. And I had an issue with the thing that I hate, because I'm like, well, I don't really have anything in my house that I hate. Like we've like decluttered a lot, but yeah, even though it's like, why would I keep something if I hate it? But then I realized it's less of like an object. It was more of like a concept, but it was the clock, and then it was time. I'm like, I fucking hate time. And I may share what I wrote at another point in time, but it was kind of neat to like write that. So I'm telling that if you were having a struggle with doing that challenge, think outside the box. I just trust, because yeah, it was very insightful to do the two. So let's see what card we are going to have for this week. Oh, it's card of two. Which one? This one's calling me. I like the color. So this is our card. These challenges, by the way, if you're new, these are something that we've like been just committing, if you feel called to commit to doing every week. There's usually a time frame allotted to it based on the card itself. But really what the reason for this is to help you tune into more focus, more direction, more of your creativity, and to clear the things that do not serve you, that are maybe preventing you from stepping onto that path, okay? So for this one, it says, explore a space without use of sight or sound. In an enclosed space, so don't go outside your house, put on a blindfold and earplugs or noise-canceling headphones. Move slowly and explore the space. Do this for 1 hour. So in an enclosed space, put on a blindfold and earplugs or noise-canceling headphones. Move slowly and explore the space. I usually will like put a blindfold on and just like lay there. So I'm excited to give this a try with like actually going around. Oh, actually, I think I did do it once where I like wore the mask for like almost a full day at home, and I had to like go up and down. Try not to like go up and down stairs, okay? If you have someone that you can like have support you, you could do that, I guess, but you don't want to like hear anything. So no TV, No sound, no music. Just be you in your body in the dark of your eyes closed, ears shut, and explore that safe space that you're in. Okay, and be mindful of your space. I'm not responsible for any shit that happens in your house, obviously. So, that is our card for the week. Maybe we'll get the other one another time. This one's definitely going to be a bit more of a exploration. So, with that being said, what time is it? I think I'm going to cut it off here today, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hoping to have a video released. Again, if you have not signed up for Fuck the Blocks and you would like to unleash your creativity and start to just be in your fullest expression of yourself, to unlock whatever might be like trapped in your throat, like these are all things that we're going to be exploring, you may want to sign up for that. I encourage you. It's free and it's kind of a do it at your own pace. Just everyday emails. Every day there'll be a little short video with some like instruction. That's all you have to do. And yeah, it'll be an honor to go on that journey with you. So you can hit that link there and join. It's just pinned in the comments. But I want to thank you for being here today. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.